So today's a really special one because I have a great unveil, and it's very exciting that we're able to do it on this particular platform. But before I do, tonight's really going to be Zanda and Deb's show, talking about the new CRM system that Zanda's built. And wait till you see some of the stuff that Deb's talents. But before I do that, I really wanted to speak into a couple of things quickly. And one is, who raise your hand if you've ever heard the term "the fortune is in the follow-up." Yeah. All right. So look, did you guys know that 80% of sales happen after it? Now, statistically, it used to be about the fifth or sixth follow-up. I was looking into something yesterday, and they said now with the way people are in the world it's about the 13th. So it is incredibly important for us all to, as we share this technology, share this amazing patch, that we're able to follow up with people that we open up conversations with. And I know that so many of us, like, we have such hearts for looking after people, and we put them in our phones. We put things in our on post-it notes all over the shop. But invariably, it becomes very, very difficult to keep track of those things, especially the more conversations we have, because we're all having conversations daily. So most people, when most people don't say yes straight away, when you put into context, like, what you're doing is you're just following up a conversation. It's just conversations with other people. So it's not nagging, but the aim of it is to nurture. And what Zanda's done is he's created this unbelievable system, which is incredibly user-friendly for our laneway, because he's built it around, he and Deb are building their LifeWave choo-choo. And so what they're creating is something that we can have that gentle persistence with care, and we don't go into overwhelm. Because Tessa and I, we've built we're leaders in Australia, and we've got really large organizations. Many of you do, but do you know what? We suck at follow-up. We often say it's one of our great weaknesses. We get off a flight, we've been in Ubers, things like that, because there's a lot going on. So I really want to acknowledge that Zanda, what he's put together, which you're about to get, is an exceptional tool. Tessa and I have been part of the piloting. I have found it to be so exciting, because you can download everything that's, all these contacts in your phone, or those sticky notes. And I think it's a really, really beneficial tool, which is why Zanda's got the platform with Deb tonight. And I'll conclude on a few words at the end, but over to you, Zanda.
Thank you very much, Misha. I feel like I don't need to do anything now, because you've set the scene wonderfully. But I am really, really keen to show you what I've built. And it hasn't just been me. I've had a lot of feedback from a lot of people who have put it through its paces, and I've been able to keep up with the changes. But look, a little bit about me. I don't have a 25, 30-year career in direct marketing, but I do have a background in large systems. And I do have a background where organizations benefit from having systems to follow. Now, with Deb and I building the business that we have built, I know the struggles that we've had. And I've listened to people who have been struggling with the same things that we have. And look, we're very lucky. We're blessed. We've got a great system inside the This Is It system, a duplicatable system. We have wonderful tools with the LifeWave back office, and there's wonderful training. There's a whole lot of information about the what and the how, right? But what is missing is something to help us manage the workload. As Misha said, it's everything that goes along with that, the mental clutter that goes along with trying to keep pace or keep up with the conversations and where everybody's at. And as your business grows, that only gets worse. So I don't want to talk about software just yet. I want to talk about people, because our business is built on people. It's our relationships. It's people that are going to be using the patches. It's people that are going to be sharing their testimonies with other people, and it's people who are making decisions and are going to grow the business. Um, and you know, this is sort of shows sort of what we're thinking about. Like as we're going along, we wake up in the morning, or we wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning, and we go, "Oh, there's something I forgot to do," or "Oh, what was that conversation?" And things start going around in your head, and we know that we're dropping the ball. And it's not because we don't care. I think it's because we care too much, and we want to be of service. And it's just our brains aren't built that way. We've evolved from coming out of caves, depending on what you believe, and life was simple. Now life is not simple. It's far from simple. Things are pinging, there's distractions and context switching all over the place. So I wanted to create something that you could just park. You could set it up. It's got everything that's in your brain living in something else, and you can park it and come back to it. And the other realization I had is working with some really good leaders over time is they don't have better memories than everyone else. They just had better systems that they were relying on. And I stumbled across this sort of iconography, if you like, of the lighthouse. The lighthouse, we're sailors, as you know. Lighthouse doesn't stop the storm. It doesn't calm the seas. It doesn't control anything. All it does is quietly sits there, and it's a beacon for you to follow, to show you a safe path or a path. And so, if we could have something like that sitting in the corner of our business, just quietly showing us the way, and LeadLight was birthed. Um, be the light, lead the way. And it really is there to be that beacon for us. Now, Sue Dux has done some really good training on the life cycle of a relationship, and the journeys that things follow. I'm not going to repeat that message, but if you understand that everything goes in a cycle, so we find people, we serve them, we grow them, then we lead them, and sort of that's the evolution of our LifeWave businesses. As we find leaders, that's when our businesses really grow. And if most people on this call, that's what they're striving for. So it's remembering that there's people underneath it, underneath our business. So look, this is Molly. Molly's been created by AI. I don't know who Molly is, but I do know that she's not a lead or a number on a spreadsheet. She's an actual person. And so she has a busy life. She might have family. She's got a job. She's got all sorts of things going on. And when she says, I'd like to think it, like when I talk to her about the business and she says she'd like to think about it, she's not saying no. She's just asking for space. And the fact that I've got juggling so many things in my head means when she asks for space, I'm going, oh, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to give you that space and come back to you with a follow-up, because it's going to drop out. This is going along silently in the back of your head. And so if we can come back to her, park her and come back to her when the time is right, and nurture the relationship along the way, it's going to make everything easier. So if we think about all of our customers and all of our team members, and have one place to put them. Look, don't worry about what's scrolling down the side of the screen there. That's just showing the tool in action. It's a real life thing that I've built in the background. It's not sitting there as vaporware. I'm going to show it to you shortly. It gives you that place to store everything. It gives you the tasks, your to-do list against that person. It pops up in your dashboard on the day that it's due, or it stays there if it's overdue and says, hey, look, you really should have done this. And there's a few other cool little features, but it's everything together, all in one place, everything remembered, so you don't have to, and nothing slips through the cracks. Now, just a little, another by way of example of that relationship we talk about, onboarding customers. We know how important it is that our customers get onboarded well. Some of us do that with emails, some of us do that with phone calls or a mixture of the two. We invite people to multiple meetings, but it's all of these things here, making sure they're drinking water, making sure they know what to do with the patches, making sure they're keeping track of what their body's doing, um, and then celebrating wins along the way. So it's no wonder that our brains become cluttered with so many moving parts because you multiply this by every customer and every team member that you've got, and the tasks balloon. Um, Little note here about leaders. And yes, leaders sell the business opportunity, leaders sell patches, but actually, leaders create more leaders. Good leaders create more leaders. They duplicate themselves. And as I said right at the start, what I believe has been missing has been something to help us do that, something to actually help us with the workload. And I know in talking to people who have been in this business longer than I have that they've been craving something like that. And it's in some cases things have been delivered. And I just want to let me touch on the LifeWave Now app right now. This doesn't this doesn't do what LifeWave Now does. This stays away from social media. This doesn't create posts for you. This helps you with the relationships, keeping a view of the customers and their journey, and your team and their journey over time. So it's a very, very different kettle of fish, if you like. Um, One very, very exciting thing that I've built inside this is augmented with artificial intelligence, and it's something that we've called Ask Coach. So imagine, and I often imagine this, if I had Misha sitting on the shelf there and I could just spin around and ask her a question about anything to do with the business, and I just know that she's going to answer me immediately, how reassuring that would be. And it doesn't have to be this shelf, but it's a good shelf. Um, so Ask Coach has been trained on our LifeWave compensation plan. It's been trained on the This Is It training system. It's been trained on our policies and procedures around compliance, what we can and can't say. And it's been trained on a few other um, documents and information from LifeWave. And then the guardrails are built around it so it can't go off and imagine things. It's only going to return accurate information. The AI component just then helps format that information into something that's readable. I'll show you some examples of this working as well. I'm very excited about it. And then I won't show you these slides right now. It's just an example of the dashboards and things. What I do want to introduce to you is the pricing. So it's, there's and I'll show you why this pricing is set the way it is. We want it to be absolutely accessible to everybody. So Navigator plan at $9 a month, which has all of the tasks and the workflow and the history of your contacts and the dashboard all in one place. And then there's the Captain plan at $29 a month, which has all of that stuff, and then we add in the AI automation to ask any question and get guidance, and also email functionality, so you can set up an email campaign and get it to go automatically to help with that information flow to your team or to your customers. Uh, and excitingly, we've incorporated an affiliate program with this. So if you share this with your team, with the people, the builders in your team, you'll make a 25% commission on every subscription every month, with no limit. So it's a way of making sure that all of that energy gets shared around as we move through. We figured it's a model that we're all familiar with. So I'll explain more of that shortly. Let me just show you the website that Debbie's built, which is where you can direct people to with your link to sign up. It takes them through that flow, explaining what the problem is. Clearly, it's a and explain that this was us. I'm not going to read through this right now. It would be quite boring. I'd be duplicating myself. Um, but just a reminder that it was built by us. This wasn't a CRM built for a big corporate sales environment where everything falls back to the dollar. This was built around people first, relationships first, and removing the clutter from our heads. So it's really, really passionate about helping and serving people and helping them with that overwhelm because I know what it's like when you get into that paralysis of spinning your wheels because you're not sure what to do. And I'm going to show you something shortly that the tool delivers to help with that in a very, very tangible way. Um, this is too small for you to see, but it's the dashboard which I'm going to take you through shortly. And there's one particular feature on this dashboard which I love. Um, so the features again, I've talked through them briefly, but one of the things I didn't touch was workflow templates. So a number of our leaders are they're wonderful at sharing exactly what works for them, exactly the call flow that they go through, and exactly the questions that they cover off, or that they cover off in their calls with their team members in every month. Now, this tool gives you the ability to set those up in a workflow template and apply them to a person so that you don't forget. And then when you pick up the phone to call them, those questions can be sitting there for you to run through and then have that repeated every month automatically. You don't have to remember to do it. The same thing with onboarding for customers and brand partners. The Ask Coach I talked about. I'll show you that shortly. This is where the costs start getting involved. This isn't running on a laptop in our back room. It's professionally hosted in a data center with the database backed up and security first and foremost, because this is personal information. This is people's names and addresses and whatever you want to store about them. You may have, but they've got a hurty knee or whatever stored. It's private stuff. So your workspace is your workspace and nobody else has access to it. So I've been very, very careful to build that security into the tool and to have the data backed up and recoverable. This is our businesses, right? In saying that, when you want to walk away, there's an export function. So you just click the button, take all of your data out, and you can put it back into your post-it notes and your spreadsheets. No skin off our nose. It's easy to come in. You can import the data and you can export the data. I want to make that easy and frictionless. Built by us. Again, we're people. We want you to stop carrying everything in your head. So let me just show you those plans again. $9 or $29 a month. If you need to pause it, you can pause it. The data will sit there archived, and then when you come back, everything that you loaded will be back there for you to carry on. That works like that. And a reminder for that, the referral system. So everybody who signs up gets their own unique link in their workspace. And when you share that with your team and they sign up using your link, you'll get a 25% commission. Look, I've got three wonderful ladies who have already offered up testimonials. I'm very, very humbly gracious that they enjoyed using it. I hoped they would, and they did. So thank you very much, Misha, Tessa, and Sue. There's a couple of other people using it as well, but these three ladies offered up. I only needed three testimonials. So thank you very much for that. I'm not going to ask hands up who wants to see the tool. I'm just going to show you the tool because I'm anticipating that you want to see it. This is the dashboard. When you first log in, you get presented with a dashboard which shows you in a very, very, this is what I'm talking about when you go, it helps you understand where you're at and what you have to do with your business. The feature I like the most about this is right here on the left. the next best action. So it's gone behind the scenes, it's gone and looked at my to-do list. It's gone and looked at the priority of them. It's gone and looked at things that are bubbling away that I might have missed. And it says, do this first. If you do nothing else, do this. And this happens. This is test data. So it's not, Liam's not a real person. Liam Thompson, he's not a real person. Um, but it says, okay, this is why. Oops, save password. Okay. Um, It's because I put a note in here that he wants to be invited to a Zoom. Oh, I'd forgotten. I'd put an action due date on it. I haven't done the action yet, so the tool is telling me, "Hey, buddy, you've forgotten to do this." He wanted to be invited to a Zoom. This is what Misha was saying about how it's so easy for us to overlook people when our lives get busy. This this just sits in the background, as I said, and just tapping you on the shoulder saying, hey, there was this thing that you said you were going to do. I may have done it and I can just click, I've updated it and put the next action in, or it's a handy reminder. Um, so you can see that those actions could be anything. It could be a follow-up because they started using the patches a week ago and it's time for me to have a call with them. So the other thing, the contacts that you load into the tool, one way of getting them in here is with an export from your back office. So you can go into your back office and export your enroller tree, save it as a file, and import it into LeadLight. It brings across all of their contact information, and so their name and address and things. It also brings across their back office information. So their rank, their personal volume, their downline volume, their percentage to the next rank. So these things that the back office is still the wonderful source of the truth, and we should use that first and foremost. But this helps you understand the picture of your team and of your customers because it's just a full picture. It shows you whether they're using if they're on a monthly order. So it's the system uses that information to offer up assistance around what that person needs to do next in the Ask Coach feature. So with your permission, I'll show you that exciting piece. So you can choose one of the people, or you can choose your own business. And look, I've got some, so I don't have to type things in. One of the questions I've had from our team recently about the PC Plus Share program. So explain the PC Plus Share program, please. And I've heard it come up in a number of calls. So I just type that in and I ask Coach, and here it gives me 100% accurate from the LifeWave source information, the PC Plus Share program. PC Plus means the referral benefit when qualifying PC member can receive $100 product credit towards the following month's MSO product order. Operationally, blah, blah, blah. One qualification path is 3 preferred customers who place a qualifying order in a month. Another qualification path is 2 preferred customers who place qualifying orders plus the PC Plus member placing an order as well. So I love, I'm a detail person. I love accurate information, and this gives you that every time you ask a question. Here we go. Here's another one. What are the requirements for 3-star manager? 3-star presidential requirements. 3-star presidential requirements, all of these working requirements, 200 PV, 5 million GV, maximum of 3,250,000 from any one leg. 3 legs must have at least 800,000 GV. So this information's in the back office as well, but it can be hard to find. So I've put it here, easily searchable, easily retrievable. And then you can ask it questions like this one. How can I open a discussion about the patches with an old school friend? this is where it starts really getting tested. Um, and the best way is to keep it simple, personal, non-salesy. Open with a friendship first, then ask a light question that makes it easy for them to respond. You could say, "Hey, it's been a while. I've been thinking about you and wanted to catch up. I've also been using these patches myself and would love to tell you." So you may or may not agree with the answer, and it might not be what we've been taught to say, but it's an idea of getting you unstuck. It could be what you need just to go, oh, no, that's not going to work, but this will work. So it helps keep you moving. What I've built into this is learning. Um, so was this useful? Was that answer useful? Yes, no, too generic, or tell me what was wrong with the answer. So as we use this more, the coaching answers will be improved by the team. So if it's off, it will learn as it goes. Um, Look, I can also show you the email campaigns or the workflow template campaigns if you want, but all that functionality is there and it's running. There's a help function if you're not sure where to go, how to use any of the functions. And there's ticket logging functions, which automatically offers you help articles if it thinks you need help. And so let me stop sharing now. I think I've done enough talking. It's already 10 o'clock. I do apologize for that. Um, thank you very much, everybody.
That was absolutely amazing. And you know, do a clap, high five. Do you know one of the things that's so incredible is Xander is so humble about the depths of his talent, but this is a he's a very fun person to travel with. Like the most fun you'll ever have is traveling with Xander. But he's also incredibly smart, astute, and what his laneway with Deb, you guys are so incredibly creative, and I just love that you've created it for us as a tool because it's something that we've really, a lot of us have been um, literally yearning for, praying for to help us get on track. And I really love the part in there that what Zander's doing is he is taking feedback. He's been, literally, it's been improving by the hour, not just by the day, since Tessa and I started, this pilot run with Sue Parrott. So, and the technology, I just love that Ask Coach. I love the what's next. I really liked that I'm not particularly technical, but that I just went, please drop my frontline into the thing from LifeWave, and boom, it furbished everything. And it's just such an incredibly great tool to have. Uh, but again, we're only as good as our systems, and the systems, if we have the systems, we actually have to use them. So ultimately, it's still, it's business as usual in terms of what we do, because we have to do the do. We have to then follow those people up. But, when it's more points of contact, every month, every year for people, and this is just such a fantastic way of not just building a relationship with people, but if you've got a situation where you've only got X amount of time, maybe lunchtime, or you've got, after the kids, I don't know, you've put the kids to bed or whatever it might be, you can just go sit in front of your computer and it will tell you exactly what tasks you've got for that day. Boom, get them done and go and have a cup of tea. And you're sorted rather than scrambling around saying, what did I need to do? So I love all of that. We're so grateful, Xander, that you've created this with so much heart and vision with Deb, and integrity, that everything's protected, everyone's data's protected,
Mm.
and that it is incredibly affordable, like $9 US for the base version is unbelievable, and also the coach version, and that you've created it in a way that if people just share it with their team, that they can be cost neutral, which is much like the patch journey. And
Mm.
yeah, love it. Really, really love it. And I would love to have, yeah, Tessa. I was about to call you up.
Yeah,
Tessa
hey,
and Sue, because you guys were, you, the other two, we've had a taste of this, haven't we?
My
yeah,
guinea pigs.
yeah. Look, to be fair, I haven't gone as far as Misha. I have literally put in my funnel of all of the people that I have not followed up over the last 3.5 years, which is appalling because I had lots. I was that lady on the screen where her hair was blowing and she had all these books and the bits of paper. That was me. And I've actually gone through and I've fed the funnel, and it's good because it's reminding me every day who needs to follow up, and I'm doing that, and that's a good thing because I can see where they're at, and I actually have a system, so I'm impressed. But the rest I haven't yet gotten to. I wanted to ask the question, Xander. Nola has asked, this looks brilliant. I would love to know about the email campaign. Would this reduce sending something like MailChimp or Kit? Can we do that? That would save me having to send emails out to everybody.
Yes, it can. What the tools like MailChimp do well are the big bulk thousands of emails type stuff. That this isn't designed to take on MailChimp. This is designed to help you with your a much smaller group of people, but uh, in a more targeted way. So let's say you have, 10 leaders who you can flag them, identify them as your leaders, and send an email to them easily from within this tool. Or you can set a campaign, more like case by case campaign. So an individual will be signed up to a campaign, a customer onboarding or a brand partner onboarding, so that they get drip fed as appropriate in the time frame that's appropriate for them. So 1 week later, 2 weeks later, a month later.
Okay,
It certainly replaces what the big boys are doing with their email campaigns for a fraction
that's
of the
fine,
cost.
but that's cool. But I love what Misha said. Look, it is affordable at $9 even on the basic one. It's really
Yeah,
good to organize everything. If this is what you want to do, like LifeWave is a
yeah.
vehicle, you'll know it works, and this is the way to organize all those leads.
And it offers up the unsubscribe links, so it keeps us compliant with the anti-spam laws and things. And I just while I'm speaking, before we go to Sue, there was a comment about testimonials, and I just want to touch on what LeadLight is not. And I've intentionally steered away from giving advice around what patches to use for what conditions or what, because there's other people who that's their laneway, from the health and wellness side of things. This is purely managing tasks and relationships and keeping track of that. I want to stay pure to that. So I probably won't put things like testimonials in there, but you can have links, as Deb said. You can put your own links in the notes fields, and use it that way.
Yeah, definitely. And there's a question from Wendy, which was just around what you touched upon with me before we went live, was around updating when you've put LifeWave information, when you've imported it from your back office, from LifeWave back office, about keeping that current. And if
Yeah.
you do a re-import, does that erase or does that just update?
So I'm suggesting a weekly import so that points and things are updated. Nothing gets overwritten. So all of your notes and tasks and actions, they're preserved because they are LeadLight owned activities. The only thing that gets updated is the back office LifeWave owned data. So points, ranks, that sort of thing. That updates quietly in the background. Yeah.
Yeah, which is absolute gold. And before we go to Sue, one thing that you haven't covered was we've got a lot of people that are interested in getting it, starting
Okay.
it. So would you like to just also
Yeah.
cover what the offer is and that
Yeah.
part?
Yeah. So to try and stay as squeaky clean and ethically straight and true as we can, we're asking you to go to your upline. So you sign up with their link. If we keep that structure, it means as people are sharing, they're sharing with their builders, and it seems the fairest way at all possible to do that. So if that makes sense, if you don't have an upline, reach out. You can by all means sign up. But
It's always that thing of it's like anything in the business. If you don't have an active sponsor or someone that's using LeadLight, we'll just go a step up. Go to the person
yeah,
that
the next one up.
is active.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right, awesome. And Sue.
I just wanted to share this incredible experience that I had the other day. It was on Friday, like 3 o'clock. Went in, got my X-ray, ultrasound, whatever on my knee, and I got the ultrasound lady's email address. I got the two receptionists' emails address, and I had a sales call that I turned it on to the sales guy back, and I got his email address. That's 4 email addresses that I know I wouldn't have followed up. I would have had post-it notes all over the place or whatever. I came home, I put them into the system, I set a follow-up, I set a date and the action, put in all their stories about what I'd heard, and I let go of them for the weekend because I knew I didn't have to actually think about them until tomorrow. No, Wednesday actually. So because that gave them enough time. In the meantime, I sent them the information they asked for. So huge, huge relief. The other, thank you, Zanda and Deb, I really appreciate it. Other thing, Zanda, is you forgot to mention quickly about it on the cell phone, on the mobile.
So it works on your phone. It's still just an app, so you get it from you need an internet connection. But if you're out and about with your phone and you've got the contact, you can click on their phone number and it will make a phone call, or you can click on their email and it will send an email. So it's all designed to all work nicely and cleanly, but you do need an internet connection.
Yeah, super cool. So, Christine, would you like to ask a question?
Yes. I'm still trying to learn a lot. How do I first export from LifeWave to then import on the new one?
Yep. So that's absolutely wonderful, because in follow up to these sessions, and I haven't decided whether it's once weekly or twice weekly, but I'm going to run drop-in Zoom sessions for to capture these sorts of things, and I'll build training around how to do it. People that sign up. So the day after, I'll be making sure they've got those things up and running. So here's a short video tutorial of how to get up and running quickly.
Because it's really important to us that you understand how to use the tool, because we've all bought software before, and we haven't used it.
So
it's just such an incredibly powerful tool. I'm so who's excited that drop in the chat, just put let's go, or I'm excited, or whatever. Check out the website, and again, this is that team thing, and so if we all do this and people can be cost neutral, and it's very, very fair. If your upline isn't on this Zoom, say, look, I'm busting to jump on and do this. I'd love to support you and use your link, and give them a chance to do it too. Tessie.
Yeah, and if they don't want to, then you can just go.
And if they don't want to, look after them.
Network, and just do it yourself. Yeah,
absolutely. If someone isn't being looked after, use your link, look after them. But always like that thing of just go up. You'll find someone that's building.
Amazing job, Zanda.
Thanks, Tessa.
Absolutely awesome. So we're excited, very proud. This is just the start, and use this tool. This is just it's such an invaluable tool that's been created. I'm blown away that I can just jump in and it tells you. And that ask coach, oh God, Zanda, that's gold.
Yeah, and imagine how many people aren't going to have to call you now. and 14-day free trial. So have a play and put it through its paces, and let me know if you want improvements made, because we're all in this. We're all going to be served by this tool. So I'm really keen to make sure it hits the mark with you guys, because you're the proving ground for for the rest. So use the 14-day free trial and fill your boots, as they say.
Awesome.